What's up, everybody? It's the Sports Chasers Podcast, coming to you live and direct with your host and your moderator, Kevin L. Warren, along with his fellow co-hosts, Dorian, the D.A. Albreton, James, the Angry One Warren, Mike Mills, Daryl D-Dub Warren, and Dan K, the Hockey Dude. This is a real sports podcast for real fans. This is a sports podcast with no hot takes, no narratives, just real, unadulterated sports talk. Please be advised that there may be some colorful and explicit language. The Sports Chasers are the defenders of the fans. Now, here's your host and moderator, Kevin L. Warren!
Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's happening, everybody? It's another edition of the Sports Chasers Podcast. Happy Thursday to you. Hope everybody's having a great week. They're starting off and ending their week on tomorrow. But before I do all that and do all the greetings, make sure you like, click, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you also share the channel. Also on the podcasting side, for those who hear me under the sound of my voice, make sure you give us that 5-star review on Apple and Spotify, and also give us and leave us a comment. So we got a lot to get into tonight. We're going to talk some baseball, World Series. The Texas Rangers, for the first time in their 63-year history, they're the world champs. They beat the Arizona Diamondbacks on yesterday, 5-0, and they win the series 4-1, as Corey Seager is the World Series MVP, deservedly so. He was on fire. I don't understand why they kept on pitching to him, but they did keep pitching to him. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk a little NBA, college football, and some NFL football Week 9 predictions. But before we get into that, we got a special guest tonight. Before I get to my special guest, let's meet the crew. Well, there's only one crew member here today, right now. Mike Mills is just chiming in. We got the DA. No, excuse me, not the DA. Well, he is the DA, but Junior, we'll call him.
Yeah,
Junior, what's good, brother? How are you, man?
Man, good, man. Another blessed Thursday. Get to it. Trying to chase the paper. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
100%.
Got you. Mike Mills, you look like you're real cold, but what's really good? How are you, sir?
The weather changing. We trying to save on heat around here. We trying to be environmental friendly around here. So bundle up instead of burning that gas. Look,
lower that Piedmont bill.
Your thermometer says 60. The DA will join us shortly. D-Dub will join us shortly, man. But tonight we got a special guest. We're right on that special guest train here tonight. His name is Greg Kristan. Let me just read a little bit about Greg. Greg has a website. It's called, first of all, his company is called the Stadium Reviews LLC. The Stadium Reviews website began as a place for him to review different ballparks, and he's been to more than half the MLB venues, and he discusses fools and other categories and other ratings for these ballparks when he goes to these venues. And he said he went to the Cleveland Guardians. He started when he went to the Cleveland Guardians game in 2019 at Progressive Field. And he said, and I quote, "I thought the food was so good for that I blogged about it and I shared it on Reddit. And I got a lot of traction. And then I decided to cover every venue that I have been to with the food options, and the traffic grew from there." So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm going to give him some applause here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Mr. Greg Kristan. Greg, what's up, brother? How are you today, man?
Thank you for joining us, man. Yeah, no, thank you.
Thank you, Greg. So, like I said, we met on the Pod Match app, and me and Greg connected, and we just talked about some things that he wanted, and I find it very intriguing as a baseball fan. I know I got on hockey stuff tonight, and I'm a hockey fan as well. Shout out to the Quebec Nordiques, moved them back to Quebec. But when me and Greg connected, I was like, man, this is really cool, because I've been to quite a few major league venues over the years, and when he connected, I was like, man, this just would be very, very interesting. Shout out to the East Coast Gridiron for chiming in. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it so much. So great. What made you get into this? Well, I said a little bit. Why did you start the website for this as we go in?
Yeah, I mean, so my goal is to visit every major league ballpark. I've been to 18 out of the 30, and I would review each ballpark, and I would say things like what I thought about their food, what I thought about the stadium, what I thought about the atmosphere, the parking, all that. And I took a trip to Cleveland, and I thought the food there was so good, as you kind of mentioned earlier, that I blogged about it. I thought it needed its own blog post on my site. So I wrote about it and I shared some photos from it and I put it on Reddit, and it got a lot of upvotes, a lot of comments. People were like, wow, the food looks incredible. I talked about the student discounts that they offer for getting people into the ballpark, all these great deals. And then I went to a game in Detroit, and I didn't think it was as good. And I shared that also, my own experience of that, on Reddit, and that sparked a lot of conversations where people were, saying things like, "Oh, what do you mean? Like Detroit's great?" Or someone's like, "Oh no, Cleveland's better." And I realized that there's actually a lot of passion around going to different ballparks and getting the entire experience. So I want to kind of put it all into one website, and that's kind of what I built.
Got you. So now that you cover 18 out of the 30 major league ballparks, what's some of the best foods that you encountered at some of them?
Well, so every time I go to even some of the places I've been to many times, like Yankee Stadium, I've gone there 30, 40, 50 times. I've lost track, but every time you go there, there's always something new. Like, for example, this summer I went. What's up?
Nah, you're talking. I'm a Yankee fan. Me and you discussed it, but you got a Mets fan up there, so you probably want to ask you, have you been to Citi Field yet? But go ahead.
Yeah, Citi Field's great too. I was going to mention that Yankee Stadium. I went this summer. They had a 99 burger for Aaron Judge. So they only sell 99. Once they sell out, they're done. So the line there is very long. Everyone's trying to get that burger, and even at Citi Field, the food there is phenomenal. So the best food I've had, I always credit New Orleans, because I went to a New Orleans Saints game, and the food they had there was just incredible. So it's Cleveland, it's what New York offers, Madison Square Garden, Yankee Stadium, Citi Field. The food has really improved, and I think a lot of it now is with social media, people sharing photos of it on Instagram or using TikTok and really showcasing what they're getting at different venues. I think it's actually raised the game.
I got you. I'll ask you this. Go ahead, D.
Oh, my bad. Now, it's fair to say you like the Dave Portnoy of baseball and football stadiums and stuff, man, because that's really cool that you got to start it that way. That's it. That's all I was gonna say.
Oh, thank you.
That's crazy.
I was gonna say, have you gotten some pushback on some negative stuff? Have you?
Yeah, well, so I mentioned that Detroit. I went to Cleveland. I loved it. I went to Detroit, and I did not like it at all. I shared my experience of it on Reddit, and people were roasting me, and they were saying, "What are you talking about? The food's great." And I was like, "No, like I just went to Cleveland the day before, and that food is great." So what's good about that is that you're getting anytime you can share your experience of where you go with a community, whether it's on your website or on Reddit or on Instagram or any other place, it creates a discussion. And that's what sports is so great about. I mean, everyone has a different team, everyone has a different preference.
Right.
And that's why I love this this topic so much.
Got you. And you say you only do MLB, correct?
So I've been to other venues as well. Baseball, I'm trying to go to all the ballparks, but for football, I've been for football, hockey, basketball, MLS. I've been to just several. I'm actually trying to go to a college hockey game this weekend with my friends. So, but for the most part, though, baseball is my favorite sport. But I will say that soccer, both EPL and MLS, it's becoming a very big sport of mine that I'm paying close attention to.
Okay. So why did you get into soccer? Why did you get in? What made you get into soccer?
So I thought that the baseball season was not going to happen last year when the whole lockout was going on with the player negotiations, and I was devastated because I was really looking forward to going to Atlanta for my bachelor trip to go to the Braves Stadium, and I didn't think it was going to happen because both sides just couldn't come to an agreement. So I found out that Major League Soccer was going on, so I turned it on, and I thought it was such a great void, something to fill that void for me. And I became a big fan of the league. So now I'm able to watch soccer games and baseball games, and pretty much anytime there's a game on, I'm going to be watching it.
Do you have a favorite soccer team now, MLS team or whatever?
Yeah, NYCFC. It's great because they don't have a home, so they play at Yankee Stadium and they play at Citi Field. So for me, my friends, we've gone to many games together. And what's awesome about going to a soccer game is that there is no lines for the food. So if you go to a baseball game, you're always stuck in line because there's 40,000 people. But for soccer, it's 19,000. So you just get up, grab food, and go right back to your seat. It's phenomenal.
Well, unless you're in South Florida like me and you go see Messi, so I kind of rebuff your statement. But that's pretty cool that you have gotten to it. And you said you only got into it just recently. You said,
Yep, correct.
got you. Guys, I don't know if anybody else had something for Greg here about his stadium thing. So, what's your favorite venue?
That's where I was about to go with it. What's the coolest venue you've been to?
Yes.
Because first of all, how do you have time to go to all these venues? That's the real question. Because that's crazy.
Yeah, I think I was spoiled because I used to live in Boston. So for me, like I took Fenway for granted until my brother-in-law visited once, and he fell in love with Fenway, and I realized that Fenway is so special. It's so old, but it has so many. It's just built into the neighborhood that even though there's newer stadiums and have all the bells and whistles, I do look at Fenway and say that is truly. I've heard from so many people who've reached out to me on my website. They always say my goal is to go on the Green Monster and have some type of like beer or whatever and watch the game. Like that's their ultimate baseball goal, and I've been able to do that. So for me, it's I look at that and say it's probably Fenway Park, even though I'm a Yankees fan. I think it's Fenway.
Yeah, I don't know how you did that. I could never go to Fenway, regardless. It's too much Bronx in my blood, man. I can't do it. Can't do it.
I went when I was younger, and I really didn't appreciate it.
I'm your son.
Yeah, I really didn't get a chance to appreciate it. What's some of the other venues? So you visited 18 out of 30. Where are you going to next summer?
Well,
where do you want to go?
So I don't know where I want to go next, but whenever I've been asked this question, I know where I want to go last. And the last ballpark I want to end up at is San Francisco. I hear it's phenomenal. You're right in the water. So for me, I've always wanted to end it with the West Coast type of trip. So I know there's a bunch of teams out there, but yeah, my goal is whenever I'm done with this journey is to end up in San Francisco and get the whole experience.
Gotcha. So let me ask you this other question here. Where do you see your business and your website going in the future? Where do you want it to go?
I really like the idea of a community. So I opened up my author box on my website on every page. And I said, hey, you can get in contact with me either by calling me, by emailing me, or leaving a comment. And surprisingly, or actually not really that surprising, but a lot of people have actually been doing that, and they've reached out to me and they've shared their experience. One person reached out to me, went to Subaru Park. It's a MLS venue for the Philadelphia Union. Mm-hmm. And basically was just said, hey, I came across your website. I found it really helpful. Just wanted to kind of share the experience that I went there for a game. And they just wrote me an email about it. And for me, I want to really open up the website to a community base, because I think what's great is that when people can tell that the owner or whoever runs the website is passionate about that topic, it creates this atmosphere of you want to be part of it as well. So if you're passionate about traveling and going to different venues or catching different games, you want to kind of share that. And that's what I want to build on the website, is more of a community base with comments, with logins, with people sharing their photos, anything, just to kind of highlight that experience.
As the team put it on the screen, you got Greg's name there. Underneath it, you got the website. You guys get a chance, check them out. I've checked it out. The website is pretty dope, and how he and I said I was going to leave. I didn't get a chance, and I do need to leave a comment about what's that the place down here, not Pro Player Park. It used to be where the Marlins play at. I'm sorry,
Hard Rock.
No, not Hard Rock. That's where the Dolphins at. Where the Marlins play. It's a different part.
Lone Depot
Park. Yeah, Lone Depot Park, where the former site of the Orange Bowl. Like I said, I've been there quite a few times. The Shula Burger, I'll get my review since I'm on here with Greg. The Shula Burger was very chewy, It was it was very chewy.
Damn.
It was very
Wow.
very like pre-made and very
Oh
yeah.
boy. Yeah.
So I did
So
not.
you're not going
enjoy it.
back? You're not going back?
Well, I'm in the business of sports, so I'm probably going to have to go back.
You gotta go eat. You gotta go eat.
I just won't get the Shula burger, man. So
Gotcha.
you know, some of the Dolphin fans might rebuff me and be like, "Oh, you're sacrilegious." I didn't say Don Shula. I said the Shula burger. So,
But Kev, real quick, you did like where the Jaguars play. You like that field. You just thought the traffic getting to the game was a little bit much. But
oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I went up to TIA Creffield. Shout out to TIA Creffield. Yeah, Greg. I don't know if you did. Have you been to TIA Creffield in Jacksonville yet? Have you been there? Okay, so I'll give you my critique on the food there too. The food there was pretty good there. I enjoyed the food there. The food was I would say it wasn't great, but it was good. It was good. I enjoyed. I think I got a hot dog, got a long hot dog, got a beer, and of course, anything at the stadium is gonna be pricey, of course, because it's a stadium, of course. So I enjoyed that. So
Citi Field, have you gone to Citi Field, cool. Greg? I'm sorry, I was late, so I apologize, Greg.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I've been to Citi Field many times. I was there back in April this year for a soccer game. I really like Citi Field. I think that what they did out in center field via like their food section, I think it's really nice.
That's what I was about to
and
ask.
they've also been making a lot of nice improvements throughout the venue as well to make it more about the Mets. So I also appreciate that too.
Yeah, I was going to ask you because I know, and that's one of the major things they talk about there. They said got like a lobster roll that's really good and something else there that's really good. So I was like, a lobster roll at a baseball game, but it is New York City. That is my hometown, so we do, I guess, funny things like that. But okay, yeah, I would like to go there. I know it's sacrilegious for a Yankee dude, but I would like to go there. Probably next summer.
Chopped cheese is there too. Jeez.
Yeah. See.
Yeah, you get your chopped cheese there, no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you get the chopped cheese outside of there, but
No, they'll have a version inside there. They got
a version inside.
Oh man,
they got everything. I'm looking at their menu. They got everything.
And I was going to say with Citi Field, what's different. So if you go to a Yankees game at Yankee Stadium, I've been to stands, I've been to a bunch of the bars, all right there, and that's typically like the pregame spot. I've done that for Yankee games and for NYCFC matches. But what's cool about Citi Field is that it's a giant parking lot. So tailgating is actually it's so rare. You don't see that ever for baseball. Only Milwaukee I've been to that they had tailgating. But at Citi Field, people are tailgating before a Mets game and definitely before an NYCFC game. There's a lot of tailgating. That's cool. So yeah, it's pretty fun.
That's really cool. So what the difference? So I heard you guys talking about baseball stadiums, and I assume you're going to football stadiums as well. Like, what's the major difference in food? Like, how, or is there a difference? Do they not make the same things for football games that they make for baseball games? Or if, different stadiums in the same city, if there's something comparable, kind of apples to apples, if there are a difference in the, if there's something in the metro area, is there a difference in what they serve from football games?
I never thought of that.
Yeah, so from my experience, baseball has always been a slower sport. This year was a little bit faster with the pitch comp, but I think because it's a slower sport, you have more time to get a beer, get different food, talk to your friends, watch the game from a different angle. You're watching the game from a different angle. There's different kiosks there. You're like, oh, this is cool. I'm going to get this food over here. So I think baseball has the luxury of being kind of like the best food because the game is a little bit slower. So they have more time to try different, different cuisines and trade off different things throughout the year. Whereas I think football, I went to a Bills game last year, and the second that the game starts, no one's leaving to go get food. Everyone's invested in the game. But for baseball, you can get up and say, hey, I'm going up to get food. Does anyone want anything? And it's just a little bit of an easier, you can leave and get something and explore different, options throughout the venue. Because again, you want to catch the game from a different area, and every area has a different food selection. So I think baseball is built the best for it.
I never thought about that. Finding different spots to kind of hang out, like with your food and stuff like that. Because of football, it's like you get your food and you get back to your seat, so you could just watch the game. So I never thought about that. I don't really go to baseball games that often, so that's pretty cool.
And have you gone to basketball arenas and stuff like that? Do you have those in your repertoire of places that you go to?
Yeah, so I've never been to a Knicks game, but I've been to Rangers game at MSG. I do want to go to a Knicks game at some point, but I've been to the Barclays Center for the Nets. I've been to TD Garden for Boston. I know I've been to others as well, but I used to live in Boston, so I was very spoiled with going to Bruins games, Celtics games, and Red Sox games quite often. But yeah, for basketball, I've been to a few places as well. I really like the Barclays Center. I think that's actually pretty nice. But MSG is they did some recent renovation there a few years ago, and it seems like it's pretty nice. So
yeah, it is. So the food is, I guess, would be comparable to kind of like a football game in the respect that it's a fast moving thing, and you really don't want to get up and go. But if you do get up and go, you're going to miss something, I would assume. But do they still bring food to you in Barclays and places like that?
Yeah, I mean, they always have the vendors walking through. I know for me, from my experience when I went to MSG, we sat up in I forgot the exact section, but they definitely did some renovations throughout it where they had a lot of food kind of pre-made and ready to go. So if you want to get food during one of like the periods where you can just get up, it was kind of already there for you to get. You can just kind of grab it and go. But yeah, as you kind of mentioned, for games that are faster like basketball, hockey, football, it's a little bit harder to get up and just get food during the game.
Yeah, because you don't want to miss anything because it costs an arm and a leg to get in there. But cool, that is what you've done is great. I would like to do it at one point in time in my life where I could just go to stadiums, man, and really critique. Not in a bad way, because in baseball, like as a baseball fan, you're like, well, yeah, gosh, man, I know when I lived in the Bronx, so I used to go to the old Yankee Stadium when I was a kid my whole life, right? Me and my friends would go 75 cents, we get in. This is the 70s, right? And they were a good team in the 70s. And, you go for bat day, you get like a real bat that you go play with. But when I went after the renovations, you could actually see how small it was as compared to the old field. And if you're thinking about the sport itself and left-handers getting the ball out of the park, you could see where, it's probably easier now, right? Because it's smaller. Like it's really smaller than what it was. So, that's something that I would like to see in a lot of places because that's something that folks talk about. But how small the baseball parks are as compared to, and what an advantage that is to specific teams because the park is just smaller now. The dimensions of the field are just smaller.
Yeah, so. My dad. So I grew up. I mean, I've been going to Yankee Stadium my whole life. The old, I guess, version and then now the new, and I definitely miss the old one, but my dad would always tell me that he used to see Mickey Mantle play out and the ballpark was so much bigger, and he's like, look at this new stadium now, it's so small, and the new stadium is even smaller. They can say it's the same dimensions, it technically is, but the wall height is about 2 feet shorter in height, so home runs actually travel out much further than they did the old ballpark, and there's also not a gradual right curve from center field to right field. It's basically a straight line, like a 90-degree angle. So yeah, when I've gone to the new Yankee Stadium, I've looked at it and said, wow, like it is even somehow they made it even shorter than what they had before.
I don't think the old Yankee Stadium, guess because we all lived in New York at some time, the new one doesn't have the same charm as the old one, of course. I don't think so. The last time they won was 2009. When they won the World Series, and I just think it was special when they won those especially those championships in the 90s and the early 2000s before they tore down the old place right across the street. That's just my opinion, and it's the old one they did a great job of trying to replicate it. They did, like you said, they did an awesome job of kind of mixing the old and the new renovations after 1976. But it doesn't have the same charm and stuff like that. But it's dope. I really enjoy it. Have you been to Wrigley Field yet?
Yeah, I've been to Wrigley. My brother and I we did a trip to Wrigley, and we also went to Milwaukee as well. So,
How was
with
Wrigley Field?
So Wrigley Field is when I went, they didn't have the video screens in the outfield, which they do now today. So there's no instant replay when I went, which was
Okay.
really cool because this is a real blast in the past. It's just organ, piano music playing. There's nothing else. There's no like gimmicky like video screen, like pump up the
Yeah.
crowd stuff. So for me, I thought that was unique, but when I went there, it was actually a really cold game. It was surprising. We went to 2 games there, and that first game we went to was so cold. They were selling blankets and hot chocolate, and it was supposed to be like a game in like early June or like late May. And it was shocking how cold it was.
That's Chicago.
Yeah.
Goodness. Yeah,
I've only had the opportunity when I went to Chicago that one time. The Cubs were out of town, and just stood out in front of it. And I don't know if you felt this way. When I looked at it, I was like, man, this place is so small. It's incredibly, but it fits, like you said, right into like how Fenway Park is. It fits right into the neighborhood. And it's like, okay, you just walk up, you walk around the neighborhood. So, wow, you walk right up to a ballpark. So it's pretty dope how Chicago, how Wrigley Field is. And I believe they made some renovations now where they got the big scoreboard, and now they got the, how can I say, the bullpen underneath ground on the, I want to say the Addison Street side, if I'm not mistaken. So they made a lot of changes, I guess, for food and bathrooms there too, man.
Yeah.
So I was really geeked when you reached out to me. I was really geeked about this portion of you coming on and talking about the ballparks, and this has been so cool. So going forward, what would you like to see? I don't know if I did ask you this question. You said you wanted some more engagement. What do you think you can do to add to this of your website here? What would you want to do here in the future?
Yeah, I think one of my mistakes that I made was I didn't share my experience as much as I really wish I did. I've been to a lot of places and I never would like post about it on Instagram or other like social media accounts. So I'm trying to make up for it now by saying, okay, if I'm going to a place, I'm going to vlog about it. I'm going to post it on Instagram. I'm going to, try to share exactly how, like what I think of the food, the parking, the bag policy, anything about that. So yeah, I kind of look at it and say, I like talking to you guys right now. I can talk, for hours about like sports. I love it so much.
Right.
But I think on my website, part of the issue that I had was I kind of just presented some facts. But when I talk to my friends about sports, like we can talk about Ed for hours. And I kind of looked at it and said, I really should have built it with all the passion that I have. I wish I put it more into this website and create like that community base and encourage people to share their photos and their experience and, everything about that. So that's kind of what I really want to do is, try to lead by example, share where I'm going, share my experience like with videos and just encourage others to do the same if they want, create a community, create a discussion and just kind of have fun with it.
Sounds like you're going to make like a USA kind of picture book of stadiums. Like, how like your family has this, your grandmother, your father, your mother has a book that, you got pictures of your aunts, your uncles, and, people from all over your family in one book. It looks like if folks start sending in their pictures to you and their videos, your website will have, folks from all over and all types of stadiums, and they'll be able to say, hey, look, this is us. Some videos, some pictures. That would be really cool. It'll be like a tapestry of like the whole country. Yeah, pulled together in video, which would be dope. With pictures of folks in stadiums, which is really cool.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, again, when I look at it, I've had people reach out to me over email and like they'll share their experience, and I've emailed them back and talked about it with them, and like they emailed me back again with like what they thought about the venue, how they took like their son to their first game, whatever it is. And that's when I realized, I really should open this up because I think a lot of people would see that and say, oh, I'm really excited for next year because I'm going to take my family for the first time to Yankee Stadium. And you went, and I would love to ask you a question in the comments section. Hey, how was it? What section did you sit in? Like, what's a good family section? That type of stuff. So I think I can harness like that type of like community base like on the website. So a lot of people will reach out and just like share their experience with me. So now I really want to encourage them to kind of just add it to the website and let's create a community about it.
And then it can become informational because if folks say, hey, what section of Yankee Stadium is best for families?
100%.
You'll have kind of, advice, real world advice. That's now don't sit there because everybody drinks over there and there's going to be a fight. You want to sit over there because more families over there, and it probably is that way. I mean, to be honest with you, there's going to be sections of every stadium that's a little bit, rowdy, and you may not want to have your kids in that section.
Right.
But you wouldn't know until somebody told you, and you would have a site that I guess people could kind of just post on your website and ask,
right,
get people to kind of chime in, and that'd be real cool. But I would be in there asking questions. I know I would, so I would be at your site asking questions.
What's funny about what you're kind of referring to is that my dad took me to a game at Yankee Stadium back, I think in 2000 or 2001, and we bought tickets in section 39, which was the bleacher creature section in right field. And at the old Yankee Stadium, you couldn't move, right? So if you're in the bleachers, like you can't move to another section, so like you're physically there.
You're stuck.
And that was probably not appropriate for an 11-year-old to be at section 39 of Yankee Stadium. But boy, those were some amazing memories that like I have like with my dad just going there and just being like, this is such a wild scene. Like this is such a great bonding moment that we have, that we're in like the most rowdy section that you can be at Yankee Stadium. And I was loving it. So yeah, it was, but maybe not for all families though.
For sure. You were in the middle of like the most rowdy mosh pit of a Yankee game of fans. Yeah, because it gets wild out there, and it always has. Has.
Greg, if I may, we're gonna let you go on this note. I meant to tell you. So I forgot you do parking reviews too. TIA Craft Bank and the DA will tell you when I went to go see my Giants playing against the Jaguars. It literally, my hotel was 10 minutes from the stadium. It took me almost an hour to get there. And then I had bought prepaid parking. Yes, I'm putting y'all on blast. And I bought prepaid parking. And when I got there, they say, oh, we don't have enough room. And it was a really bad experience. I wound up parking somewhere and just praying that my car didn't get towed. It was a really bad experience parking there. But when I got in, the food was there. They did the flyover and everything. I missed that. And I try not to be late for anything. And I'm really not. And I was disappointed for that, or stolen. D-Dub says stolen, man. But that's my stadium review. And like I said, I'm gonna give you my word. I'm gonna go in there and put my thing about the Shula burger. Don't eat the Shula burger, y'all. It's chewy. Hopefully they'll cook it right next time. And so it wasn't good. So Greg, thank you so much for coming on, man. We appreciate so much. Let me give you some applause here. Not those applause. There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you very much.
He's Greg Kristan, and he has his website. What's your website again? And where can you be found on social media, Greg?
The website is thestadiumreviews.com. And you can find me either by searching for Greg Kristan on Instagram, or you can follow me as The Stadium Reviews on Instagram as well.
Gotcha. Y'all remember to follow my man, Greg Kristan. I got it right up here. I got it right back up there. Follow him. He has a lot of great information on stadiums. If you want to go visit a stadium, and like I say, he's been to 18 30 of the MLB ballparks. Check him out. I'm pretty sure he'll have more, and then hopefully he'll put all that stuff together. Yes, you got those old pictures. Make sure you put them out there, Greg, so you can share them, man. So, but again, my friend, I appreciate you so much coming on here, man. And we got to have you back on here again, bro, to see where else you have went since we talked to you, man. So y'all give it up. We'll give some more applause for Greg. Greg, thanks again, friend. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you. Take care, man.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you. Thank you.
He's Greg Kristan, man. That was a good segment there as we talked about stadiums there, cool. Man. We appreciate that. So
I think you can help a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
You definitely can. So So we'll get into next. We're going to get into. We talked about MLB stadiums. We'll talk about the World Series. I said that beforehand. How the we'll move right on here to the next segment. According to CBS Sports, here for the first time in franchise history, the Texas Rangers are the world champions. The Rangers clinched their first ever title with a thrilling 5-0 victory over the Arizona Diamondbacks in Game 5 of the 2023 World Series on Wednesday night. Texas went an astonishing 11-0 on the road this postseason. That's kind of crazy. It's the longest road winning streak in franchise history. What's my name? Corey Seager. He is the MVP. I don't know why Arizona kept pitching to him. I said that from the beginning.
He was slapping the skin off the ball. So I don't know why.
I don't understand why they kept pitching to him, but they did. But needless to say, and let me just get on my soapbox for a second because it's definitely annoying me. To all those, I'm gonna say it. To all the YouTubers and TikTokers and all that say, "Oh, this is the worst." The ratings were definitely low. Yes, it's definitely low. There's a lot of factors involved in that. Yes, people cut cords. People don't watch baseball, and baseball is definitely a niche sport. Baseball people that love baseball, continue to watch baseball, man. That's all I can say. Continue to watch baseball. All those that's making comments, y'all making comments, but y'all don't watch anyway. So
it don't matter.
It's right. It does. It really doesn't matter. So, the Raiders was the lowest ever since. I'm like, and then they'll end their soliloquy, or whatever they call it. With, I didn't watch. Then why are you commenting?
Online reporters.
My problem is this.
Go ahead.
If you're not watching, it's fine. But we don't need to. I don't need to hear you down baseball for some arbitrary, reasons that I don't watch it and people say it's not as popular as it was and it's slow, and you don't know what it is if you're not watching the sport. If you're a casual fan of baseball, then be a casual fan. Watch the World Series, watch this and watch that. If you're a baseball person, you'll watch baseball. And my hope is, and this is for the guys on TV that say, not literally just guys, but people on television that say, oh, baseball isn't this and baseball isn't that. Well, it isn't because you don't talk about it.
Say it again.
If you brought it up and if you said something about it, maybe baseball's popularity wouldn't have waned it so much. But, there's other reasons. And I have I'm plugging myself here. I'm writing a
causation.
Article on that. Right now about the causation of why baseball is where it's at today and where it started. But the reality is that if you're not watching this, fine, man. Like, we're not going to beg you to like baseball anymore. Those days are done. It's finished. If you don't like it, then you don't like it. But we're not going anywhere. And that's it. Not going anywhere. You don't have to like it. And I'm fine with you not liking it. It's all good.
It definitely is. It just amazed me. I'm like, okay, yes, the ratings were very, very low. Yeah. And I know I'm gonna stay in this bag for a little bit. So just hang out with me here a little bit. It's between two small market teams. No, it's not. Phoenix area. You ever been to Phoenix? The Valley has almost about 1.7 people. And the Texas Rangers play right outside of Dallas in the Arlington Metroplex area. So it's not two small market teams.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that. No, I wouldn't say it either. If you like baseball, it's just like hockey, man. And I'm with D on this. Some of the legacy media, they don't cover it. Fox themselves do not cover their talk shows. Do not cover it, and that's a fact. I'm not throwing that out here. Sorry.
Neither does ESPN.
Maybe
a little bit. Greeny may roll it a highlight, but I can't remember the last baseball guest player that I remember being on ESPN.
Yeah, so, they only give them segments on ESPNU or ESPN2. In the middle of the day where everybody at work.
I mean, Barry Melrose was on ESPN for a little minute. Yeah, his little thing on Sports Center. So that
Yeah,
might
he
be
did,
the
but
last guy.
But I think they talk. I think you're right, Mike. They do talk hockey on like Sports Center, but I mean, like on your shows, you may get Melrose, once in the blue on there, but I just don't think that they.
A
I don't
Bengals
think
hat.
that. Huh?
Mike,
I'm
I need you to
talking about-
focus. Forget this
Yeah,
guy.
I'm sorry. It just
Yes, go ahead, D.
disturbed my inner peace.
Mike, I need you to focus.
He just destroyed my whole focus went away when I seen that orange.
Wow, D.
What happened? Aliens.
Let me put him front and center. This is the transfer portal. What's your name? What's your new name?
Yeah. D-Dub.
Transfer portal.
Transfer portal. Fan. TDW.com. Holla at me. Got what you need. I got what you need.
Oh man, look at that.
I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry for disturbing you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yes,
go ahead, Mike.
you definitely. Mike had his train of thought, and he said, "Bengals hat." And
ooh, these boys on fire, boy. They on fire. I got to roll with them.
I can't wait till
hell?
this weekend.
Woo!
I'm about to go change.
They're gonna lose this. That's damn right, Mike. Go ahead, tell him. Go ahead, say it. Mike.
Hello, Mike. Talk that talk, Mike. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, I can't wait till they lose.
Ooh. What do you got this weekend?
Go
ahead. I'm sorry.
We was in baseball, and here he come.
We're talking baseball. Go ahead, man. Hey, shout outs to the Texas Rangers. I told you.
Where'd you have that?
Oh, let's back over here. I'll get it here in a minute. But
I bet you will.
Texas Rangers. Go ahead, man. Hey, shout outs to Corey Seager. I didn't even realize he was a Charlotte native, man. This guy he's a Charlotte native.
He's a
Corey Seager. Shout outs to you, my brother. They did their thing, man. I mean, there was a lesser. The Diamondbacks wasn't. They couldn't. I mean, they competed, but it wasn't as good as Texas. So they tried. Diamondbacks is good, and they'll be back.
They're not bad. Not bad.
They're not a bad team. They probably like a little bit before.
Yeah.
They
got a few big bats, but they play defense. But for some reason in the playoffs, they ran bases all year long, stole bases, because they could steal 1 through 9. And they got to the playoffs, and the dudes had like cement shoes on. So I was like, well, and it's the rules didn't change in the playoffs, at least for pitchers going to first base, so forth and so on. So I wasn't really sure because it started against Philadelphia, when they just wasn't stealing any more bases. And I was like, but they steal bases all the time. And they just stopped. And I thought that, I guess, I don't know. I guess that hurt them, of course, but I just didn't know why there was a change in the way that they were actually doing what they do. So I was pretty weird to me. So
Arizona's their pitcher yesterday had a no-hitter going into the 7th inning.
Yeah. What's my man named Gallon? Yo, he was rocking and rolling.
No, going into the 7th inning.
Yeah. Both pitchers was great. I mean, he was rocking and rolling until they got into the 6th, 7th. I believe it's the 7th inning, and Corey got a hit, man. He got a hit.
Things got bad for him.
The bats got contagious. It was like 3 straight hits, and then the guy, I forget, it was the third baseman. He got the glove down and ball went in another direction. It was a mess in that inning, and it was that was it. It was pretty much the demise of the Diamondbacks, man.
You miss me going into my on all those your thoughts on the low World Series rating and those that are talking about it but didn't watch.
We talked about it, Kev. We knew that this was going to be a low rating, and if it's for you, it's for you. I mean, you're going to watch it. If you're a baseball fan, you're going to watch baseball. These guys don't talk about it. That's why we're at where we at.
Guys? Who's those guys?
The 4-letter networks and 3-letter network, and So and then they'll make it. Oh well, it's a regional sport. No, it wasn't. It hasn't been. Come on, stop, man. It's only regional unless you don't talk about it. You don't talk about it and let the region talk about it, and y'all national don't talk. Then it's going to become a regional.
Fox Sports.
Exactly.
If you look at all their shows, which I don't, their shows in the morning, they are heavy on the football. So if you're a football
they're
person,
heavy on that. They have it on the Lakers. Not basketball. They're heavy on the Lakers. And they're heavy on football.
Heavy on football.
No. They're heavy on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And they're heavy on the Lakers.
Go ahead, Mike Mills. Go ahead, Mike.
I agree. I agree with everything y'all saying, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate real quick.
Okay, devil.
We all will know that baseball is not good at marketing their stars, man. They got to.
No, they're not. They're not. You're right.
That's a fact.
Especially because they had this writer strike, so a lot of actors wasn't the small bit parts. They've been putting more people in them commercials. That should have been baseball. Little segue. Throw Mike Trout in a commercial. You know, Singer had a good year for the Mets. Throw him in there. That's international people. You know what I'm saying? Ohtani. Come on now. That's the storyline writes itself. You got all these guys that you can market better, and then you'll have more people tuned in. So you got to help yourself.
This is MLB.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right, so let's go back a few years, and Kev know where I'm going with this. So about maybe 3 or 4 years ago, Manfred was on DP, and he was actually upset with the Stars. So he called out Mike Trout. Like, yo, he doesn't do enough. And, I was like, well, I got what you're saying, Commissioner, but if that's not dude's style, then you got to find another guy, right? Because at the time, the Dodgers were winning, I think, 4 years ago, were a good team. And the Angels haven't been a good team forever. He's been one of the best players in the game. At the time, I think Mike Trout was probably undisputed best player in the game. And Manfred was like, yeah, well, he has to do more stuff. Well, the league has to get him more stuff to do, that works with him. So if he's like a dry humor Seinfeld kind of guy, then you put him in that. We can have a little side role. I mean, he's a private dude. He don't even do interviews like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't seen him sit on anyone's couch yet in the offseason. He don't get down like that. He go back to Jersey, South Jersey. He hunts for deer. He hangs out with his boys. He goes to movies and hang out with his wife and kids. Like Mike Trout's not with all that. So Michael is right, but MLB has to find which players are down to do it and to get them in the right positions to do so.
Mike, I'm sorry, D.
Now, it's like saying that, the right type of commercials. Like, you see the NFL where they're at the ball and the ball falls down and then everybody starts running and jumping for the ball. They didn't have everybody that played in the NFL, but they had the dudes that, where it made sense for them to be there, right? So, Deion Sanders, I don't think he was in it, but, this one, that one, big hitters and running backs. And so, they put guys that were supposed to be in specific positions in the commercial in the right place, and they came off. Baseball doesn't do that.
No. And I'll say this: baseball doesn't do that, and they need Mike. That's a very great point that you brought up. Thank you.
Very good point.
That's a very good point. MLB does not do itself any favor. I don't know why they can't market.
No, yeah, because Ohtani should be all in Chinatown in New York City. He should be owning
all up and down Canal
San
Street.
Francisco, yes. All that. He should be all of that. I mean, you got all that what's that demographics over there that you should be in command of. Major League Baseball has to do better with that in order to capitalize on that and to get in front of that. That's an excellent point. Marketing is a problem for Major League Baseball.
DA marketing and solutions.
There you go.
Manfred, I got all the ideas for every player in the league. I know their personalities. I know what they're famous for. We can make commercials for all of them. All right?
And guess what, Manfred, Commissioner? If your league is going to be on a network,
they need to be talking about you.
They need to be talking about your sport and not be heavy on football, LeBron, the Cowboys, and now James Harden and Russ.
Or even if that, don't disrespect my sport. Even if you don't talk about the sport, don't diss my sport. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be on there disrespecting us. Like, baseball ain't shit. What? Yeah. You got my game on in an hour and a half. What the hell you mean baseball ain't shit?
I really don't know how the baseball writers over there on that 4-letter network, how they even survive.
Well, Buster Only and those dudes, they do their thing during the game.
Is Buster? Yeah, I don't even think I haven't seen
Buster in a
Buster
minute.
Only. Let me go reach. That's what I do. Buster Only. Where the hell are you at,
Buster? Where you at, bro? Buster.
No, he's there.
And not Buster Rhymes either.
Buster Rhymes, the body infinite. Yeah. So he you know what? Funny thing is, Kev, like we say, they'll just go to MLB Network. That's what they want to be anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's just that ESPN is what's the word the kids say? Yo, I won't hold you. ESPN is just hold you. Yeah. Well, ESPN hold you because I think him and the other guy would rather be on an MLB Network. I forget the other dude's name, man, but I think those two dudes would rather be on MLB anyway. So
yeah.
D, did you find out is
he's still Buster's still with ESPN and my other man Jeff Passan.
I love Jeff Passan. Yes.
Yeah, but he's been passing by. I haven't seen him at all.
He'll be on the game.
He'll be on afterwards. I don't see him, man. I don't see these guys, man.
That's why
because the domination on the networks, man. But everything else, you know,
none of the good analysts working no more. None of them.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
Mike, go ahead and speak on that. You said none of the analysts is working anymore. Why
none of the good ones, man. I hate that I gotta go on ESPN Plus to watch my son Chris Berman every Sunday night. Like it kills me. He need to be on TV, and they got him with booger old bum ass. Let's see, y'all maybe going to
on Twitter or something, man.
Yo, he be killing me. My son Chris Berman. I got like every day.
Oh, Mike, man.
Yo,
Booger said I ain't bother you.
Booger's a bum. He's a bum. Your name is Anthony, but anyway.
Oh man, golly,
yeah, like I turn on ESPN Plus, and I want to watch the highlights.
No man,
I don't want to see Chris Berman on ESPN Plus. Chris Berman should still be holding Sunday Countdown. Like
they
don't want analysts that's actually entertaining and actually thoughtful about the game. They want these guys up there who used to play, who want to insult each other. And then some of the guys playing. They're not even talking about the game. They're just talking about each other.
That's why they're getting sold.
I don't want to hear they up there gossiping, acting like
Chatty Patties.
There you go, Chatty Patties. Up there, just
out of
Chatty Patties.
Mike, I wanna just jump up and down because
we have to address this. Yeah.
I mean, we might as well stay in this. We might as well stay in this bag, man. We might as well stay in this pocket. Mike is absolutely right.
1,000% right.
1,000% right. And then if you criticize, so if you criticize,
speak on it. Go ahead, come on, I'm ready.
If you criticize, if you say something, you're not allowed to say something. I.e. Ryan Clark.
Well, it ain't. Well, you
going Ryan?
No. He's a chatty patty.
O'Brien was the one last week. O'Brien was the one that. She went in on Micah Parsons, and Micah said something back and did, don't you talk to Kimberly that way. He ain't this her. You know, listen.
She got to get the smoke too, but go ahead, D.
Yeah, if you're going to, anybody, and this is why, I try not to disrespect.
No, absolutely not.
I'll say you didn't play well. I'll say this, I'll say that, but I'm not going to go at you like that because I don't play your sport. But what I'm saying is, these folks go at these dudes, and then when these dudes say something back, everybody got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to have a world where you can say something about somebody, and they can't at least give account for their actions. So they say, you play horrible. Okay, I had a bad game. I'm not going to give you no excuses. I'm trying to do better, whatever. But then someone says, but don't no one ever come at you when you have a bad show and say something, Oh, don't be talking about my show.
That's because they show always bad.
Yo, that's a clip right there, DJ. That's a clip right there.
Would you say on Mike, man, their show is always bad?
Shows is always bad. Always,
don't you be talking about my show.
Feminine energy, bro. That's the shit right there. This is what we talking about, man. That's what these guys when you got these players. No. Hold on, D. Hold on. I'm not gonna go to her.
You get your thieving A on you. Yo, don't. Hey, you know who I am. Yeah, I know who you are. You know, we know who we are.
Like, dude, stop with the you're so tough.
You know how I do.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna let that happen.
Come on, bro. Stop.
You know, I know you.
Yeah.
You know me, and we know everybody
in the family.
So
right?
We don't know.
Yeah.
That people, those people we know them people.
That's his Stephen A. impersonation.
Yeah,
I guess so.
Y'all be cool.
Nah, Kev, but the problem is that you're getting a whole bunch of athletes that's transferring and coming over. They're not. There's the difference between, and you can see the distinct difference between journalism, actual factual journalism, and critiquing, said player or whatever.
I see that hat you got is the wrong Bengals hat. Don't worry.
Oh well, it's cool. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Yo, I know peoples.
You know peoples. Okay, Stephen ain't stop. All right.
You know people,
but that's the problem. And now we get into the part. Now you got players. Oh, you can't criticize. And there's a way. Brandon Marshall was just he's the next victim.
He got on Shannon.
Sharp about the way. Now it's got to be a way because they are in the same fraternity. Now we got to talk different. It's a different type of talk. I'm like, dog, we talking football. We talking sports.
They're killing me, bro.
Go ahead, Dorn.
Go ahead, Junior.
Nah, it's just soft, man. Like the media is become soft. Players are so emotional. Like everything is like PC. You got to be politically correct in everything we do.
For certain people, though. Just for certain people, right? Because they pick and choose. And Kwame Brown has said this a while ago. About a year or so. Go along, get along, gang, and plus one who you like. And if instead you can't just criticize. So if you gotta like. If you like them, you let them pass.
Well, may I say something, man, real quick? And we talk about this a lot. The reason why we're here, the reason why we thought about doing this show, was because we thought about sports growing up. And I understand, dude say, man, D, you're old. Yeah, you're fucking right, I'm old. I like it. If I wasn't old, I'd be dead, right? So old is good.
What about young? There's another side.
Hold on,
You're not old. If I wasn't old, I'd be dead. There's another side. There's young before old.
Well, if you don't get old, then that means you're getting dead. But end of the day, what I'm saying to folks is this, man. As far as we grew up in a time where we watched sportscasters and sports shows. Now I know things have changed, but even with ESPN, I didn't know who Dan Patrick liked. I didn't know who what's the brother's name?
Stuart Scott.
Stuart Scott. I didn't know who their favorite team was. I didn't know who Warren and Wolf liked. And that goes to New York folks. I didn't know because that's not what journalists do. They report on what they see and they put it out there, right? So now we're in a time where guys can say, I'm a Lakers fan, or I'm a LeBron fan, I'm a this fan, I'm a that fan, I'm a this fan, I'm a that fan, and then speak to those teams more than other teams. And I never thought that was fair. I think every team, if they're playing that weekend, deserves something, right? It's like, so we just can't have a show where we're talking about the Jets, or we're talking about Dallas, or we're talking about the Lakers. I believe that there are a lot of teams playing. Matter of fact, there are a lot of sports playing. And if you call yourself a sports network, I think you have the obligation to speak to every sport that's being played in your country, at least on a professional level. So, I think the reason we're here is because we like to do sports and we like to talk about sports. And sometimes you'll see 4 black guys on here talking about hockey or soccer because those are sports that people play, golf, tennis,
Mm-hmm.
rather than just talk about the Lakers or the Cowboys or my Yankees. So that's why we're here, man. We're here because they're not doing the job that they advertise. And they advertise to be a sports show, to be a sports network. If not, I don't know why they just say, hey, ESPN, Dallas, Lakers, Jets, we got you. And keep it moving. And then, okay, we know what they're talking about. Don't tell me you're the worldwide leader in sports and don't talk about the other sports. And I'll shut up now. I'm going to drink my water.
Okay.
My water.
Drink water and mind your business.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I know we went down that rabbit hole, and thanks to Mike Mills, he did it for it. He set us up for it, but rightfully so, because I think it needs to be said about that and how, and D-Dub said it too, about how some of the former athletes that have infiltrated the journalism role, and now the rules have to change. No, the rules should not change. It's journalism report on what they see. That's what a journalist. When a guy goes overseas and there's a war going on, he has a big journalist thing or press. He's up there reporting what he sees, period, in the story. And now, and it's not a problem. What they're mad about is now that everybody, because I've heard, everybody has a microphone. Yeah, everybody has a microphone. They're seeing what's going on, whether it's about sports or the food or whatever you want to critique or whatever. It's your right and it's your opinion, and do so. I just ask that, if you do it respectfully, as we do on this show. We will never say that, he's a bum. Nah, we're all about being respectful. And, some might add, well, what qualifies you? Well, what qualifies? I can read. I can see. I can understand and comprehend. You know what I'm saying? If I don't know what a cover 2 is, I can find out. I guess somebody on here to tell me who's a cover 2, but I think we got 1, 2, 3. All of us play football, so we know what cover 2 is.
And guess what? Google's a beast. Google knows what cover 2 is. A gap, B gap, whatever you want to know, I'll find it out.
And I'm gonna speak for me. If I call you a bum, it's based on your performance, not your character.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing.
A lot of bums running around here.
It's a lot of them, and again, right, Mike. That's 100% fact. And
Strictly
people just
not
goes
character.
back to what Junior was saying. A lot of sensitivity, a lot of, and what I said, a lot of feminine energy. Where guys, we used to talk. This is how we talk to one another. Wasn't attacking you as the person. We're talking about your game. We talking about the game that you played, and you had a bad game. And there's nothing wrong with critiquing and saying that you, sir, did not do X, Y, and Z. You had a bad game.
Nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. I think Plexico Burris, I seen on a TikTok. He said this Giants team is awful. So what? All the whole Giant squad going to clap back at Plexico?
No, they're going to say, "Oh, you shot yourself."
Yeah, well, no way.
Plexico's so did y'all 2-6.
Yeah, you shot
2-6.
So did y'all 2-6.
Yo, Mike, that was a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, Giants, I shot yourself. So I mean, stop, man. Like you guys are way too sensitive. And like I said, when I say about this show, love us, hate us, but you got to do something. You got to do something. If we can't be friends, why can't we be enemies then?
That's a fact.
Yo, go ahead, Go ahead.
You know where we at? You see that email address on the screen?
Hold on, let me bring it up for you.
Yeah,
there you go.
There you go.
Get at me, dog.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
We right here. We ain't ducking no smoke. Fill out the form.
That's it. You know what I'm saying?
We address all address all drama. Address all drama.
So that's how.
Some bums.
Yeah, that's just what it is, and I don't know. We went down this rabbit hole. What's next, moderator?
And you know what? And it need to be said. Well, y'all really don't be mad at this one. I'm about to bring up because Ryan could not be with us. Ryan could not be with us tonight.
We got Junior. Junior got it. Yo, Junior was doing some work
last week too.
Junior was working, boy. I was looking at TikTok and I was like, whoa.
Working while I'm sleeping, boy.
What?
Yeah.
Yo, Junior, go ahead, man. Well, shout out to Ryan. We love Ryan too.
Well, let me read
So-
this, and I'm gonna let Junior
Basketball.
chime in on this real quick. I did want to mention this, and and I'll give it to Junior, and he can talk about the NBA. This Friday, tomorrow, the NBA will kick off its first in-season tournament on Friday, but some teams are going to have a far easier time in their designated groups than others. The league divided each conference into 3 groups of 5 based on last season's standards. But as we've seen so far, just because a team was good or bad last season does not necessarily mean they still are now. This is critical because the only surefire way to advance the tournament will be you to win your group. Only one wildcard team per conference will advance. Now that we've gotten a look at all 30 teams through more than a week of basketball, we can better assess just how dangerous each group is and what that means to the teams involved. So below, we are going to rank the 6 groups from 1 to 6 in terms of how threatening it is. I'm not going to read it. I'll put it up on the screen to you. Junior, what's your thoughts on?
Hey, hold on, please.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just asking a question because I don't know. What are we getting out of this tournament? What happens?
Nothing. Some money.
Nothing. I genuinely have no idea the point of this tournament. It genuinely makes no sense. Like, can we, like, as a panel, talk about, like, what sense does it make for the NBA to even have this?
I call them used car.
If you can come up with 2 reasons, I think
I'll speak for the panel.
But if you
go ahead, Mills.
Go ahead, Mike.
We didn't like the play-in game. So how do you think we feel about this?
Oh, man.
We didn't like the playoff. We didn't like the play-in game.
I'm just trying to
go back to the drawing board.
Facts. $100,000 is enough. That's it. $100,000.
They get $500 to split.
Ooh,
that's
like
the
goddamn.
goddamn.
Don't make that a check, but that's neither here nor there.
What's the name of that shit that Jarrell and them played in this summer? The one in Charlotte, the tournament.
Oh, the basketball tournament. Yeah.
They pay $1 million the same goddamn thing. What the hell are you doing this for?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these players are making that.
I'm gonna tell you something. From now on, I'm gonna say 25 on this show. You know what 25 is? The 25th letter of the alphabet. 25 is Y. Why?
Yeah.
Why? Why are we doing this?
It's doing shit.
What are we getting out of it?
No, I think honestly, the only thing I can see that is the cool part about this is the courts that they're gonna have, because they
gotta be kidding me.
Wait a minute. Wait a goddamn minute. Did you just say the courts?
I did. Look, that's why I think they're doing it. Mm-hmm. That's why I think they're doing
it. Yeah.
There's no other reason besides.
We can look at the court.
Promoting something. No, but I'm saying from
looking at them ugly ass jerseys they keep dropping.
I don't care.
Adam Silver. Let me see. Let me say something, guys. Hold on. Adam,
they got new jerseys.
Yeah, it's New Jersey.
Yeah,
this is
city jerseys.
Used car sales.
Yeah.
They out here selling dreams, boy. Like, this shit is crazy. Them jerseys is horrible.
It is nuts.
When they dropped on Twitter, I said, what is this?
Yo,
if y'all can see my screen,
but that's why I think they're doing it.
Here goes the
they're probably gonna make some money off the sponsors and stuff like that. Like, it's
Can you see my screen?
That these people
no, we can't.
No.
All right, now you should be able to see.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
Nobody want that AAU ass court. Like, get out of here.
Yeah, man. What the hell are we doing?
We're playing in purple courts and stuff, man. This is crazy. It's like we're playing in 2K. You know how to
Mike, you making a court.
You're playing pro in these bad
That's
courts.
what this is, dog. This is crazy.
So they're gonna have to do from the rucker there? Oh, baby! Oh,
Now listen.
You know what? That might be entertaining.
If that would be OD, I would kind of watch
that. I might pay the
DA. That might just take these guys over.
Marketing solutions, boy. They might have to get them on the phone.
I told you. I know it. I can do it.
Yeah, this is definitely a used car salesman
baby
approach. you know,
They
Adam
come to Black Roach.
Adam Silver
Roach
has to come
One
to
of
the
my games?
to the table and explain why are we doing this.
Black Roach with the ball. Black Roach good with the ball. He went up. Wow, Raid. Oh, baby.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I'm reading now. It's brand partnerships.
Yep.
That's literally the reason that they're doing this. I mean, at least
some
that's
of their
what
partners are saying
Adam
to do
Silver
this.
talking
We want
about.
more money. They're being told to do this by their partners.
Mhm.
This shit is sad.
Listen, it's definitely sad because it's almost like we're saying this is some used car salesman stuff. And who was I talking? DA was talking to I think you and Daryl. Were, you know, hey, if y'all ever in any USA town, you got that person during tax season, and they flipping stuff up and down.
Yeah,
and
they're flipping the signs. Got a Gumby suit on.
Wacky waving inflatable flailing arm 2-man.
Yeah.
Wacky waving arm inflatable flailing 2-man. Yeah.
This is what the NBA has become.
The family got too.
And I don't know. I got to look at the stats for the season and have what's the ratings of the season thus far. But
they ain't playing. The guys are sitting still. They're still sitting. So
come on, man.
People playing.
It's been all right so
they
just
far.
lost to Zion the other day.
I think dudes have been playing. It ain't been horrible from what I've seen.
Ain't no defense being played, but
definitely
nope.
That's regular.
But that's nothing new.
Yeah, that's just what they do.
That's to be expected.
I mean, I have seen 155 games. I think 150 scored.
155
points scored. I think 140 points the other night. You know, 125, 135. What the Lakers did yesterday. Shout outs to the Lakers for doing what they did last night. That was a pretty good win for them.
They had 130.
Yeah, I mean, so there's definitely no defense being played. You know,
it's crazy.
Celtics. We had to talk about that one day because what you said, D? I'm sorry.
Now I was saying the Celtics got up to 155 last.
Yeah, 155. I thought I seen that last night. Yeah.
I do think that this scoring and lack of defense, and we say this every year. So when it happens, just know that we said it. Mm-hmm. The degradation of the NBA based on guys not playing defense and the scores and the thought that fans want to just see scoring and don't care about defense is so freaking tone deaf. It makes no sense because fans want to see a competition. They want to see dudes play against each other. They want to see dudes go hard. Mm-hmm. And going hard has never just been one end of the court.
Let me ask you a question though. Do you think, and this is just me because I see a lot of hoopers and that the skill level of I think just the guys that could play I think is higher. Yeah, so I think the scoring ability is higher, right?
Yeah, I believe that. But
hold on. So let me pose my question. So with the skill level of the offense getting higher, you normally have like your role guys that play defense. Do you think they're just not as good as defending?
Dog,
because you're not having the stars guard today.
I knew where you were going with that, and son, I'll tell you this: watch the games, and you'll see, like I see, they don't even try. Mm-hmm. So like dudes is not locking up on dudes at all. Mm-mm. Now they're waiting out, and this is how I know personally, because I see them play defense in the playoffs. They'll go this whole season and not play, and then the Celtics will play defense in the playoffs. And dudes will be locking dudes down. And to me, that's disrespectful. Because I paid $200 to bring my family
Not about
down.
Game 5, though.
Huh?
Not about Game 5, dog. I mean, I played, and I'm not sure Yahoo, but you don't really get into a groove, and I'm talking about like a 35 game season because that's the high. Let's say college, so like a 40 game season. We really didn't get anywhere near where we needed to be defensively until maybe game 25, 26. That's a 40 game season. So I'm not judging today's game 5's defense.
So I'll give it a few weeks, but I'm telling you this. Yeah, I'm watching dudes drive cars. I got you. So you know what? I will. Sure.
Players coming in, new players, all those types of things.
I will defer to you on this. I'll give it a few more weeks, but
can we wait till Christmas?
It's dudes driving past each other like it's Mario Andretti. So if it doesn't change, Well,
But
that's
you
what I'm saying.
can't.
We'll give it some time.
The lane is long. You know, they're really working on that. Kids being in the lane. That's a huge deal, right?
Yeah.
Like you taking away a second from somebody that can be in the lane. You can't have 1 foot in the lane now. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
You used to be able to do that. At least have 1 foot in the lane.
Yeah.
You know, and
Without
no
giving
one
3
to say.
seconds. I got you.
Yeah,
I got you, bro. So
It's just changing the way people can defend, so the game can be, more points can be.
Or that
scored. At least
damn
that's
whistle. They need to stop blowing that whistle. Everything is
Yeah,
not
and that's the
foul.
thing.
So
And
I
that's-
agree with you
and
with
that's
the defense and getting in tune because defense is communication, is is habit forming. You have to like communicate. You have to get that in tune. I agree with that. But that damn whistle don't got nothing to do with nothing. They blow that shit for anything.
Well, look, hey
They
man,
be
you know
killing me with
they
that.
get paid a different. That's a different ball game, man.
That's
Those
a
refs,
fact. But
documentaries about it, big dog. You know,
they killing me
they
with
blow
that
that whistle
whistle.
not only for them, but for other people.
I'll
know
give
what
you
I
the
mean?
20-something games on defense. I can see that. Because even when you go play
Okay.
pickup in the park, even if you're playing with your boys you play with every day, somebody might be lackadaisical. You got to get right. You got to get tight. You got to communicate. But
Some people not even in shape by game 5.
exactly. So like, the whistle.
Or the game shape.
They
Game
be
shape
out
is
there
completely
doing
different than practice shape.
anything.
I got you.
Anything.
This proves my point. What I say? I see you at the Martin Luther King. I see you. I watch basketball around Martin Luther King birthday.
we gotta move on. We gotta move on. We gotta
Unfortunately, I
move
work
on.
around basketball, so I'll be watching every game.
Hey.
Mad, I'll be like, why
Yeah,
is
Martin
it not
Luther
football
King.
night?
We gotta
Martin Luther
move
King. I see y'all January.
Let's move on to college football before we get on out of here. The college
More
football
people that don't play defense.
Wow. What the fuck?
Mike is on one tonight. Okay.
Mike is on one tonight.
Weeks, man. They've been running me ragged between work and everything else.
Wow,
I'm here
Mike,
today.
I'm sorry.
What Mike said, he's smoking a pack on college football.
The whole pack of cigarettes right here, huh?
So the college football, the playoff rankings have started this past Tuesday. They have got Ohio State number 1, Georgia 2, Michigan 3, Florida State number 4. Mike, since you're talking about it, do you agree the order of how they have gotten this order of Ohio State and Georgia, then Michigan, then Florida State? Your thoughts? I'll
Ohio State been ugly, but they ain't lost yet, have they?
Nope.
No.
So that's why they number 1. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we know ain't no Big Ten school gonna win the whole thing, so it's still early. Let's see where it goes from here. We don't.
Why you think?
Games in?
Why you think they made? I mean, not that it makes that much. Why you think they made Georgia 2?
Because they're stupid.
I mean, brand loyalty. I mean,
yeah.
You know.
Can we get a little bit more in depth, guys? Because they stupid.
I mean, brand loyalty.
I know I asked the closed-ended question.
Yeah. We need a little bit more.
I will tell
Thank
you.
Go ahead, D. Thank you.
First off, they're not stupid. I was just joking. They Brock Bowers, man, and I think that's blown up a little bit. You know, Georgia lost Brock Bowers. They can't that. They still have a really good team, and they haven't lost. So this is probably the first year I've seen that I can remember a defending 2-time champion get moved down to number 2 without losing the game yet. So they're saying that they haven't really played anyone, but you know, I can't. I never get into that conversation because you only play who's on your schedule. Like you can't play who's not there. So. And then, you know, the thing is that they're going to have an SEC championship game at the end of the year that they'll play Alabama or somebody like that. And if they win that game, and then they got to be back to being number 1, right? And the same thing with Michigan and Ohio State in the fact that they have to play each other at the end of the year. Michigan is a very complete team. Ohio State has the best receiver in the game, Mr. Harrison Jr. I think Florida State is probably better than both of those teams. Dimes to dollars. Washington's offense is really good. Oregon lost to Washington, but their team is pretty good too. Texas, they are good, but they're kind of an enigma sometimes because they don't always play well.
We had Alabama. We weren't supposed to be here.
Yeah. Alabama, they took their L early to Texas, and they lost. And Texas lost their quarterback. So we have to see what the new guy does. Penn State, I'm really not sure why they're still there, but it's okay. Because it's just never going to happen for them. I don't know why. The NIL bank ain't big enough for something, but something ain't happening.
Just ain't going to happen for you.
Yeah, you got Oklahoma. So at 10, which took an L to Kansas, last week because they went in there overconfident and got smashed up. But I think the first 4 teams are the right 4 teams. Any order probably wouldn't have mattered much to me, right? Because I think they're all great teams. But I think, Ohio State, because they have beaten Notre Dame and they beat Penn State, who are 2 ranked teams, they put them number 1. Now, Michigan is in the same place as Georgia. They haven't played anyone. So with that being said, I would definitely have Georgia over Michigan, which they are, but in the college poll. But I'm not mad with Ohio State. Like someone said, I doubt they get to the championship at the end. Because the last 3 years, man, you got to keep it 100, man. Like when they went up against these SEC teams, it looked like varsity versus JV. Like dudes are getting pushed around the field in a horrible way. So with that being said, it's up to the Big Ten to change that. And if it doesn't change, then, it's just going to be the same old story. So.
Gotcha. D-Dub, your thoughts on Georgia being number 2?
Yeah, I don't understand that. Georgia, until something else happened, did they lose? Did something that I don't know about?
No, they didn't lose no games.
So they've been rolling number 1 all this time?
Yeah.
And Ohio State, come on, stop. And then for them to get smashed by by Georgia when it's time to come, when the playoffs come. I mean, it is what it is. 1 or 2, Georgia's still number 1 as far as I'm concerned. So they're gonna be there in the top 4 when it's time when it's all said and done.
AP still has them number 1. So I mean,
the AP 20 top 25 still got number 1 and Michigan number 2. So yeah, Ohio State is right. Ohio State and Michigan need to battle. That's the battle.
Yeah.
For
it's funny though, because Ohio State been looking real fraudulent.
Yeah, that's they had 2 big games, Mike. So
and to be honest with you, again, I don't believe in either one of these 2 teams when it comes to meeting Georgia. So they're gonna be fighting for number 2, as far as I'm concerned. And Florida State might have something to say about it too. So shout outs to Washington. Washington is right in the mix. So they 8-0. I don't know who they play this week. They got a good quarterback. The quarterback is what's his face?
But I don't even know if he's playing this week. So I don't know if Penix is playing this week.
Yeah, did he get hurt?
They got USC this week, right?
He's been hurt. That's the Oregon game. He's been hurt since
It's gonna be a good game.
He's just been playing through it, but he's been hurt sinch Oregon.
They said he's ready to play.
Yeah.
They said Penix said he's ready to play. So we'll see.
Torredor. Oh, sorry.
Oh, shoot him up, brother. Shoot him up. Shit, it's time to play.
Shoot him up.
Shoot him up is crazy.
I'll tell you that. That's wild.
Yo,
shoot him up. Yo, pause.
Oh man, y'all are crazy. Let me take control of this. Junior, you gave your thoughts on this. What's your thoughts on? No, you didn't. Your thoughts on Georgia and Ohio State? I guess flip flopping. According to NCAA.
I mean, Georgia. I mean, they're about to run into their ranked guys here in the next couple of weeks.
Yes.
So I think as they beat these guys, which I think they will. They're not going to be easy games, but I think they're going to come across these next 3 weeks with dubs. And then right after that, they're going to probably be back in the number 1. I just think they're basing it off Ohio State beating Penn State, who's a top 10 team, and Georgia hasn't beaten a top 10 team yet.
Well,
you know what I mean? So
they got Missouri. The next four games: Missouri, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Georgia Tech. This is for Georgia's next 4. So
yeah, for Georgia. So I mean, they got So they got Missouri at 12, Ole Miss at 10, Tennessee 17, and we Tennessee they did that to themselves. It's not. I don't think they're a 17th best team in the country. I think they're probably a little bit higher. They just, haven't shown it. Took some L's, right? So that's what I said. I think they're going to be able to show that they are still the number one team and they're deserving of that number one spot in the playoffs. But the number two could be beneficial depending on who they play first round of the playoffs. So it's one of those things. As long as you top four, I don't think it actually matters because you might get a better game at 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Playing a team that's not as strong, playing a Michigan or playing, say Washington somehow gets in there and you end up playing Washington. I feel confident Georgia's going to beat Washington if they play Washington. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So that's what I think.
Yeah,
I don't think that both of those Big Ten teams are going to get in there. So I agree.
I mean, they play each other at the end, so I don't know how they could, right? The last game.
So who's going to sneak up and take the last spot?
Washington. They're going to give it to Washington.
I think they're going to give it to Washington.
Do they got a Pac-12 championship game?
Yes, they got a Pac-12. Yeah.
Is Oregon and Washington in the same thing?
I don't know if they're east or west. I don't know how they different.
I'm not sure about that.
North and South.
Yeah, North and South, man. Let me move on before the rest of our show as we got a few minutes. We'll tackle this story. Also, remember, make sure we're on also Sunday mornings for the Gridiron College Football Rundown. We'll talk about the games that went on that past Saturday. And also don't forget to get at us on the Fourth and Short segment where we talk about NFL stuff. So, those that are saying, well, where's the NFL stuff? We're going to give you a little bit in the next 4 to 5 minutes.
Cincinnati win.
And it's just a relative story. The Raiders fired Josh McDaniels. According to CBS, Josh McDaniels' era is over in Las Vegas after just 1.5 seasons, with the Raiders dismissing the head coach alongside general manager Dave Ziegler early Wednesday. It's just the latest of the tumultuous turns for a franchise that hasn't employed a coach for more than 4 consecutive seasons since Art Shell, almost 3 decades ago, 1989 to 1994. Antonio Pierce, who he will be the interim coach and he's the former star Giants linebacker during that Super Bowl run when they won the Super Bowl. But here are some other names who were figured to be in the Las Vegas radar for Mark Davis, according to CBS. You got Brian Flores, you got Dan Quinn, you got Ivero, the Panthers defensive coordinator, Brian Callahan, the Bengals offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, Lions OC, Frank Smith, Dolphins OC, and then you got number 1. They thinking Jim Harbaugh.
I thought it was going to be Brian B. Enemy, Eric B. Enemy. Yeah,
he's not mentioned on this list.
We ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about him tonight.
Okay,
man.
I thought they
So that's what made me angry too.
D, since you said something, your thoughts on the Raiders, their mess, and why they can't get right, man.
I first off, I told y'all before about what Belichick assistants. They're not good. None of them. They're not
good people.
No, they're not good coaches when they leave him. So which leads me to believe that when you're under him, he does everything. He tells you how to go to the bathroom, what to do, how to run your plays, and do whatever. Because when you leave him, you can't do anything. None of them win. None of them win.
What about Mike Vrabel?
He is not an ex-coach. He never coached for Belichick. He played for Belichick.
Man.
Never coached with him. Play with him. So the point that I'm making is that his assistants have always been bad. So I'm not too shocked by that. What I am shocked by is the ineptitude of the Raiders front office to hire a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's almost like quarterback. When you get a bad one, it's going to hurt you for some years.
That's a fact.
And I don't know if they should have or could have fired, Gruden. I'm not exactly sure what the hell happened. It looked like he was building something. But then when he left, the guy that came in behind him, the interim guy, won all the games, and then they fired him. They just don't want a good coach. They want a Raiders coach. They got to have a dude with a great background and a pedigree and he's a Schottenheimer or he's something. Because they're not going to hire the guy that comes in. Like if Pierce wins every game the rest of this year, they're not going to hire him.
Oh no, that's he's never going to get that job. Nope. And
So,
no, Mike, they're not going to give it to Eric Bieniemy either. Nope.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily sure what the problem is, nor do I understand what the holdup is with other, guys out here, as far as being coaches. So, if Brian Flores gets a chance, that's good, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think he's killing them now as a D coordinator. So,
no.
So we'll see what happens, man. I honestly believe that the Raiders are just they're getting, let's say the tail wags the dog. That tail is wagging the hell out that dog because they're not doing anything from the head down. They're doing it from ass backwards, from the tail up. So they haven't been able to get a coach because they're not doing it the right way. They actually are horrible at this. It's hurting some good players. They've had some great players come through there in the last 5-10 years, man. And that kid Crosby's a beast. Jacobs is a beast.
Crosby's nice.
5, 10, 15, 20, you mean?
Yeah. They got dudes that can play. That's going through there. They got guys on their team right now that don't deserve to be there. So
yeah, man. I mean, it's just like they wasting talent, bro. It's like these guys are sitting there wasting away, and it's sad, man. Because there's talent there. Why are they not utilizing it or can't seem to get it going? That's a whole nother story. That's again, bad coaching.
They ain't had a good coach since Gruden the first time. That was the last time they had a good coach. He might have been trying to build, but this is the same man 3 years ago traded Khalil Mack and they said, we need a pass rusher, man. We're not getting to the quarterback. So they just like you said,
bad management, bad coach.
Got my man Mike Mayock. Mike Mayock, I love Mike Mayock.
New ownership.
That's not going to happen.
That ain't going to happen. But new everything. Or get you, like I said about Tepper, get you football guys around you. Go get you some football guys and let them coach the football.
Well, the problem is the owner thinks he is a football guy. That's the problem.
It's almost like
with the Knicks, right? The owner thinks he's a basketball guy.
Lord, let's not talk about Dolan.
And mind you, he leaves the hockey people alone. He don't mess with the hockey people, but the basketball people.
He's really a hockey guy. That's why he knows hockey. He knows to leave those guys alone. Basketball is like a toy to him. So he just does whatever the hell he wants to do with that damn team.
Well, not only that, I really think because of the press that that basketball generates and gets, the media attention, the hockey doesn't get that much media attention as basketball does. And he hates bad press. He hates. I mean, this is the only team or organization that doesn't let media talk to the general manager.
Nope. You gotta fill out the application.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing that I've read about them and understood what's going on there, and that place is crazy.
Yeah, the lady.
But meanwhile, the Rangers could, they could talk. There's no problem. You never see there be an issue.
Nope.
If anything, basketball guys don't know what to talk. I don't know. I don't. Yeah. I don't care.
It's what it is, man. Yeah. We're over our time limit, man. What an awesome show today, man. We had my man Greg Kristan. He came on to talk about stadiums and talk about the venues and the venues they did. That was so good. Make sure you visit Greg's website. I have it back up here real quick. I did have it. But yeah, visit Greg's website. It'll be in the show notes on the YouTube side and on the podcasting side. Make sure you visit his website. He has a lot of great information on MLB venues, also NFL venues, and NBA and MLS.
And if you like to travel, he'll got the rundown and give you a list of what what stadiums is nice. So if you're into traveling, which we like to travel and stay in some nice places. He got you covered.
Yep. So make sure you check out Greg. So we appreciate Greg. Appreciate the guys, man. We had a great spirited show tonight. Always a show. We'll get parting shots. We'll start out with Mike Mills because Mike Mills was smoking tonight. Mike, I'll start with you. What's up, my brother? What you got for us before we get out of here? $5.
Yeah.
No, $5.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's my rule. I don't care. But
okay, well send your money.
Hold
on. Send your money. Hold on, right here. Hold on, send it right here. Right there,
get that QR code right there. Gotcha.
Yeah. So shout out to the logo right there. You know, shout out to the rest of the team that couldn't be here tonight. Shout out to our guests for the evening. And man, nothing major. And not a shout out to D-Dub's hat.
Oh yeah.
Burn it.
Oh yeah.
And that's it.
Thank you, fresh.
D-Dub, what's your thoughts? What's your party shots? As I said,
good show, man. Appreciate all you guys joining us. Appreciate the panel. Nothing heavy. Everybody be good, be blessed. Be also hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. What's my saying, Kev? Hate us, love us, whatever. If we can't be friends, we might as well be enemies. Shout out to Fifth. I heard him say that. That was a good one, though. I loved it. So I'm going to adopt that.
Got you. Thank you, D-Dub. Junior, what you got for us, bro?
Nah, it's a real good show. Shout out to our guest coming in today. Definitely I'm going to look at his website because I still am curious how he's going to all them damn stadiums. Because if you looked at his website, it's a lot. So shout out to him, man, because I think this website is awesome.
Yes.
Chasers, appreciate you guys. Really good show today.
Yeah.
And
we appreciate
stay
you.
blessed, man. Yeah, man. And as a quick shout out, I'm gonna put it out on air. Find out what I'm having tomorrow, fellas. So
congratulations.
Jenna Revere on air.
On the Chasers?
Yeah, man.
I gotta get me a blue or pink hat.
Yeah, something, man.
Yeah.
Let y'all boys know, man. But yeah, find out tomorrow, man. So it's an exciting time right now.
No doubt.
So we working.
Yeah.
Yeah, D-Dub, you should have just bought a pink and blue hat on.
Oh, yeah. That might just happen.
I know, man.
Yeah.
Look, we hoping for blue.
Yeah. I feel you.
Whatever it is, I just hope it's nothing.
That's
awesome.
That's what's up.
That's awesome. The DA, soon to be Pop. DA.
Granddad.
He's your granddaddy.
Hey, we gotta get the Boondocks. Granddad. Yeah, granddad. Oh God.
He's a loss for words. Look at that.
Thank you for coming, I guess. Appreciate it. I wish you much success on your site.
Yes.
And I would definitely go in there and look at it. And for me, ginger snaps and milk, man. Ginger snaps and cold ass milk.
That's why my man don't go to jail. Got the ginger snaps.
Yo, nah, I hope I get to clip that because that was he said ginger snaps are cold.
I'm pretty sure you'll be able to do something with that, Junior. Thank you.
Yeah,
you something else, bro. Love you, man. Love all the guys. Hey, I don't have nothing heavy. Thank you for all those that tuned in tonight. Lynette, Debbie, thank you. The guys from the East Coast Gridiron, thank you guys for chiming in and hanging out with us. They talk some really good football over there, so shout out to those guys. Possibly do some kind of collaboration here soon in the near future. So shout out to those guys. Shout out to those watching on the YouTube side. Thank you so much. Make sure you like, click, and subscribe to the channel, and also those that's listening under the sound of our voices on the podcast side, on Spotify, Apple. Whatever listening device you're listening to, we thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for our guest tonight, Greg Kristan. Thank you so much, bro. And we're going to have Greg back on. Great show, like I said. Got a lot of stuff we got off our chest. Thanks to Mike. Mike, thank you so much for being our, you started off, and we appreciate that, man. But like I said, I don't have nothing heavy.
Yo.
Go ahead.
Shout outs to Kev with that Quebec no Deke hat and shirt on. I see you, man. That's yeah. I don't know. People be like, "What is that?" That's a throwback. That's a throwback for real. Yeah.
Yep. Bring back if those that don't know. So the Quebec the Quebec Nordiques used to be a former National Hockey League team that moved from Quebec, Canada to Denver, and they are now currently the
Avalanche.
The Colorado Avalanche. So if you look, they have the same colors as the Avalanche, and they didn't move there and call them the Colorado
Oilers. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's that. Yo, man, Titans. Stop. Y'all need to give up that. But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yes. So this logo is definitely iconic, and hopefully the NHL will move one of the teams that's not doing so well back to Quebec, or they'll get an expansion team and put that there. Dan said he doesn't seem to think that their team will be back in Quebec, but they got a brand new arena. Hopefully they'll bring them back there. I miss the days. I remember the days, I should say, when I was a young lad growing up in New York and listening to or looking at Channel 9, because they never had the Knick or Ranger home games on regular TV, right, guys? You had to watch. You had to listen on radio. Yeah, I know people's like, what you mean you couldn't watch their home games? Nope. Home games were on MSG, and we didn't have enough money for cable.
You sure did.
Stone Age.
Yes.
Real life.
That's the
back
time.
when we were slaves. Yep. Way back.
We said,
nope. On behalf of myself, I'm Kevin Owan, your host and moderator for the DA cookies and ginger snaps or whatever he says he's eating in milk. Mike Mills, D-Dub.
Chris Berman.
Yes, free
Jeff Passon. Where you at, Jeff? Jeff Passon.
Free Jeff Passon.
Chris Berman.
Dorian.
Where you at, guys?
For Dan the Hockey doing his absence, and for James the Ingram in his absence. Yo, this is the Sports Chasers podcast. Y'all be good. Be blessed. Have a great rest of the week and weekend. Hey, make sure you holler at us on Sunday and Monday, man. Peace. Be good. Later.
Free Chris
Take care.